Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Prison Architect. And right now, we're just in the setup phases of the prison and constructing it. And I still have one more thing over here for the holding cell, which is for it to be enclosed. And to do that, I'm going to have to put a door of some kind. So let's go to objects here, and of course, I might as well have time tick while I do that, and do the jail door there. So that should be good. To go. Once that door is done, we should have this enclosed. And now it's time to start working on the kitchen and canteen. So the first thing I'm going to need is to finish the walls. So we have concrete here. Now, I don't really have a whole lot of funds here, and I just want to get through this one grant so that we can get more grants for more money later. You can go away. Oh. No, that's planning. Go away. There we go. I don't think I actually deleted anything meaningful there, though. And did I mess up? I don't think I drew the wall quite far enough here. Oh, it just looks like it's a little weird there. Oh, maybe it's because of the door. That was what was giving me that impression. And then once we have that done, we can draw the different rooms. As a matter of fact, I can draw the kitchen now. As soon as I find, there it is. There's the kitchen. And then the canteen will be all of this area. And we can get a look at what we need for the kitchen and the canteen to be finished. So some of this is planning ahead of time. And these are definitely going to be locked open. So we might as well preemptively do that so we don't mess that up. There's no reason to have these needing to be opened and closed by our guards. Now, some of these things I'm going to have closed. Like, for instance, I don't want prisoners getting in on the utilities here. But other things are going to be remaining open. For instance, the shower here we're going to lock open. The only reason it's there is just so the holding cell gets, finished and counted. All right. And what grants we have, I'm trying to see. We don't have anything that I could really do right this second that would be all that helpful. All right, so the canteen, we need a serving table, which we already have plenty of, and I already kind of deleted. We're going to have that one there, that one there, that one there, and that one there. Seeing how we already purchased them, it's not really that big of a deal. For the kitchen, we need a cooker, a fridge, and a sink. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. And first things first, we need the cookers. I'm going to do the sinks actually first, and I'm going to do one there and one there. So, because these two sinks I'm going to have there anyway, and I want to make sure I've got that set up correctly. And then we're going to have cooker, cooker, and again, this might not be the optimum placement here. But I'm going to do fridge, fridge. And that will be it for now for the kitchen. I don't think I'm going to go any bit more beyond that. Now we also have to link power. So utilities. And we'll link it like this. So we'll go up and over and in. And we're going to want power to the cooker and the fridges here. So then we're going to need water going to the sinks. So let's grab the pipes here. Pipe that along. Go up here, and then we'll do small pipe across like that. Okay, that should be the utilities. And we're almost done. I just need to hire a couple guards and a couple cooks. And that grant will be finished. Should we start doing a cell block? I think probably that would be a good call. And I'm going to do my first cell block over here. So let's start the planning on that. And I'm going to go ahead and draw out the tiles so I know exactly where I want this. So I'm going to go off of roughly the middle, although this might not be precisely the middle. about 6 meters. Just gives us room to do other things and make things not so cramped. Although maybe that's a little bit too far. Let me actually revise that and think about it. I want to do my planning first. So planning-wise, I could just do like, a quick build basic cell. And I'm probably going to be doing roughly what this basic cell is anyway. But I kind of like doing the planning. And although it might be a little bit more tedious to do it this way. Let's say we give it like that. And we just have two space here. What we would need for a basic cell is a 2x3, which is a 4x4, like that. So if we were to make this jail cell, or this cell block, the same width as the path we have, so it would be something like that wide. But we're going to need a shower. But even if we didn't have a shower, at its best, one row would only be as many jail cells as we're going to get here. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's not enough. So we're going to want to have it come out. We will build from here. Something like... All right, so that's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. All right. That's good. I might as well have time play while I am thinking on this. I don't want actually this initial area to be jail cells. I just did that to kind of as a proof of concept. So we're going to have this area be open. And I would very much like this to be the shower. So do that. Is that even? Yeah, it is. Okay. Then we're going to have 2 wide, and then I'm going to do another group of jail cells here. And another one here. I just want to get an idea of how much room I would have if I continued this. It looks like not much more room, because of how close we are to the fence. So this area is going to be a little bit smaller cell block, I guess. Because even if we go out here, we're not going to have enough room for another jail cell here. Alternatively, I could make this area back here the shower. Just maybe re-engineering it a little bit and then have more cells. That could work. So we would do something like this. And then maybe... So how many cells is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 7 on this side and 7 on that side makes 14. And then we could do... I think I might have made my canteen a little bit too big here, because it's not giving me much room. Alternatively, I could bring the cells down a little bit, and then maybe I'd be able to get something fit in here. But I'd be right up against the fence, which I don't really want. Ideally, I would like this much room. Something like that. Wouldn't want to be any closer to the fence than that. This is not ideal. I mean, technically, that's enough space to put a jail cell in there. We'd have a construction, something like that. And that would be as many prisoners as I could fit in this cell block. It's not perfect, but I think it's as good as it's going to get. So... Well, alternatively, my initial idea was to have the shower be here. Yeah, I'm not liking how much room I have here. Looks like we're probably going to end up having to make this longer than I'd like. Rather than... Yeah, okay. That's fine. I can fit more cells if I do this. So this would still be the shower area. We'll just go out a little bit. And do... I would like... Okay, that's probably close to the size I want. It's just going to be a little bit longer, flattened out cell block. Ooh. I still want to have room over here for things, so I don't want to have it out too much more than that. But I think that's what I'm going to go for. So let's see foundations-wise. Well, first off, do we even have enough money to build this? No. Okay. Well, at least we have it planned out. I don't know if I'm going to have a deficit here because of the guards. Oh, I'm going to need to first. Objects. Table. And I don't really care if these are efficiently set up at right now. I'm just going to kind of throw some tables out here. We might need to move them around later. So that's 4 tables, and we'll get some benches here. Ideally, I wouldn't have wanted to set that table up right in front of the... Alright, now I gotta have to tick so that bench... Get that money back. Or not. There we go. Alright, that gives us some tables. I think we do some prisoner intake. Not ideally what I'd like, but... We're going to need some income here, so I'm going to take 10, but I want more minimum security than I'm currently getting. So, right like that. Okay, I'll get less money overall, but I think we need the intake. Okay, and that won't show up till 16 hours from now. Okay, well... There are some other things I can do in the meantime. For instance, I can do materials and do the concrete tiles. Draw that out. And I can also pay for things I know I'm going to need. Okay, the utilities are hooked up now. Good here. Alright, so I edited out the bit where you had to wait overnight while we were waiting for the prisoner intake. So we're just about to get it, so I can get my guards here. We're going to have 10 prisoners. I'm going to go ahead and hire 3 guards. And also, we need cooks, so I'm going to hire... I believe I only need 2, and we're going to hire 2. And that should get the grant. And then with that grant done... We can get the next grant, which is cell block A, which is going to give us the money to build the cell block in the first place. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then what other thing can we do that would be easy? Yeah, so this isn't too bad. Security procedure. Staff room, again, isn't too bad. You just have to have 5 guards without assigned duties, but you don't get anything up front, which makes it not as fun. So we'll do this one. So all I need is a security chief, 10 guards, and to unlock the patrols, and also assign 3 guards to those patrol routes. So let's go ahead and take that as well. And now we have 3 guards. Here's our 10 prisoners. They're going to be hanging out in the holding cell for the meantime. Now, we have plenty of cash, so I figure we might as well start on the foundation here. And I'm going to do this. And then we need the door. So we need a large jail door. There. And these guys are just going to have to hang on the holding cell until we get other things done. Now, I could have taken less intake than I currently have, but hopefully we can get these the cell block finished quickly. You know, in my planning, I forgot to cut out the areas for the doors. That's okay, I'll do that now. And you know what? To have even more capacity than I can get from a small jail cell block like this, I might actually make them dorms rather than just straight up cells. Now, that would make them have less privacy overall, so they'll make them a little bit less happy, but we'll make do with that. And also, I would very much like to lock this open so that the prisoners can go freely outside their cell without needing to be accompanied by a guard. All right, so we also need to have utilities here. So let's go ahead and grab that. Bring it out into the middle there. And I'm also going to need the water pipe to come out. And I'm probably going to have to make it do something like this. Okay. I also am going to have to go to materials here and build my concrete walls. And hopefully we don't have these guys outside of or in the holding cell too long, because that's not ideal, obviously. Alright, so there is that setup. And I do know that I'm going to need drains, so I might as well just do that now. So put one there, another two there, another two there, and there's our shower. Thinking about cutting down the trees, but you know what? I'll let it go for now. This tree can come down, though. Okay, so let's start setting up the other things that we need in the jail cell. Because these are going to be dormitories, we're going to use bunk beds. So we'll do boom, boom. There, 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 there. Flip it around. Now, the bunk beds are more expensive than a basic bed. But we're going to be cramming these prisoners in. Now we need toilets to finish off the cells. And I'm not going to be able to make these things all that fancy at the moment just because of a shortage of cash, but I would like to have different flooring materials if I could. You know what, why don't we go ahead and do that, and maybe we can get away with it. So these are all going to be mosaic here, as well as these. All this is going to be mosaic, and then I would like white tiles for the shower. Hopefully we can fit that in before too long. I also need to do the jail doors. Now, I kind of held off on here because, you know, let's do the utilities first. All right, based off of the placement. Oh, you know what? Actually, the toilets are going to be here, so I'm going to need the pipe to go back a little bit further. And then we do that, that, and that. I'm doing that correctly, right? Yeah. Trying to make sure I was putting them where the toilets were. Putting the toilets in front of the doors. Alright, there we go. That's set up. We're gonna need also to do the electrical. Probably don't need to take this too far down this way. We'll find out here. We need it any much further than that. Okay. Now we need the doors. So, jail door. Now, this is problematic because I'm going to have guards open these every time. Kind of why you want to... Oopsie. You want to do them last? so that the workers aren't having to constantly wait. But things should be most of the way along by that time. Okay, things are going pretty well. We've got our 2 things. We do eventually need 10 guards. I don't see a reason why not to hire a couple more. And we don't have deployment yet. And another thing I'm going to need, we might as well start on it, is we're going to need a security chief. So I'm going to need to actually do this to get him. So we'll start on that. And then we'll probably deploy a guard in here permanently so we don't have guys running off into dark corners because we don't have eyes on them. I mean, who knows what they're doing? They could be doing drugs. Who knows? Yeah, see, this is the problem here is with the... All right, so these are set up. These are set cells. So let's go ahead and grab the rooms. And we'll do dormitory here. Boom. Ooh. Oh, and by the way, how many do I need? Prisoner capacity to 15. Well, that's easy. With how many we're going to have here. Okay. These should be dorms. Some of these are missing key components, but they'll get there eventually. Some of them are already done, so we can start moving our prisoners into their cells. Okay, and with that being the case, we can now go on to cell block B, which is raise your prisoner capacity to 50. And we'll get the upfront cash for that as well. And this is where we're going to have some, a little bit more movement here. Because now we have money to spare. Just right now, because we don't have a lot of prisoner intake. Although, I'm going to have another 10 coming in here soon. Let's actually take a look at our intake. Alright, so we're taking another 4 minimum security. But as soon as I get the chief available, I can work on that. Oh, that takes quite a while. Okay. And we'll get those other 10 prisoners soon. And then I can ramp up how many guards I have, satisfying some of that. Now we're going to have our workers really not having anything to do. Alright, so I might as well start getting tables in here in a more efficient manner. Also, I want to look at this. Alright, so currently they're locked up for a lot of time, which is not really something I want. So what I would like them to do is have another extra hour of shower time. Then they can have free time. Actually, let's start them off with a meal. So, eat. Then you shower. And we'll have you guys be on a different shower schedule. Free time. Then you eat again. Then you have your yard time. And then you have free time again. Then you go and eat. And then we have lockup, I guess, is fine. Okay. Get that schedule a little bit better. Okay, now getting back onto tables. Okay, so at the moment, I kind of have things spread out quite a lot. It looks like, you know, that actually might work for what... I mean, I have a lot of dead space over here, though. You know what? I don't think that is going to work. And now that we have these guys mostly gone, I can probably set things up more efficiently. So... Oh, it doesn't let me delete things. It doesn't let me delete them right now. I'm going to queue up all these dismantle jobs. Right now. And then I'm going to try and do this more efficiently. This was kind of just thrown down at the moment. I'm going to need more tables anyway, so that's okay. We'll set them up. All right, so now let's figure out what is the most efficient. I don't want to block that. I want to go down from there. I place there. I'm going to need that. That might be good. Let's just take a look at that. Maybe I'll even be able to separate it one. Might be ideal. Like so. And then do the benches. So, okay. That looks okay, and looks like a good use of space. Now we go back to tables. Separate this by one. We do that. I don't want these in front of the door, so I'm going to have to separate a little bit. Alright, and then we'll wait until these get dismantled, and we'll figure out the space from there. I might actually end up going something like... Let's see. Table. Flipping it. Doing this, which should be more or less the reverse of what we had over in the other area. And this gives us our avenue to walk down as well. So keeping things less crowded. And then we just kind of go that way and come in. That looks like a better use of space. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's probably getting on to the time where we need to start also doing things with the cookers and fridges and stuff, making sure we have more of them. So we'll do something like that, and then we'll come down here and we'll do more cookers. And then we'll do more fridges. That. And then I do need trash cans. I didn't do that initially, but we do need them. So we'll put one in this corner and one in that corner. And then we'll also need them here, which is why we have this space. Okay. Okay, good. That's a good setup for now. And these are all taken down, so we can start putting out more tables. So we're going to have... You know, it might be unavoidable to have some of these out in front of the door. I guess I shouldn't worry about it, because we do have plenty of space. And we do something like that. It's going to be hard to have this be perfect. Probably going to be some dead space. There. So there's going to be a little bit of dead space, but this should be most efficiently set up. Okay. Now we have a little bit more room for more prisoners. And you know what? I'm going to actually take the intake all the way up. So we can fit how many prisoners? 32. Let's make this 22. There we go. Actually, doing the math there, we shouldn't have that many prisoners. Not going to let me do any more than 16, it looks like. All right, well, we'll take that many. Actually, it's only giving me 15. That's fine. Oh, I got to get on that guy, because there's nobody watching the guys in the holding. Well, actually, no. I can't. I don't have any eyes anywhere. I got to get these... Let's see. We got the chief now. Put him in an office. Put him outside an office. And then we need to get on immediately doing deployment, so I can actually have eyes on these jail cells, so they're not just doing whatever the hell they want to do. We'll put one here to work the doors. We'll put the rest over here. But it's going to take time to get that one project done. And then we're going to need to do patrols to get the other grant done. And then we'll be pretty much good. We're 3 hours away. How many hours does it take to do this? We're not going to have quite that stuff set up probably before the prisoners show up. That's not great. Well, we might as well fast forward here. We're going to have a little bit of rough patch right now where we can't really watch the prisoners because the guards are not really keeping an eye on them. And we're going to have a mass recruitment of guards when the morning hits here. But I'm going to wait until the prisoners are actually there. And then we'll put men on them. But I think for now, this is a good point to put a cut in the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.